It doesn't take much for us to suspect that eliminating a god have some serious consequences attached, especially when we realize that the said deity was put in place during dark times by an ancient people, as mentioned in the lyrics of Shan Yun's song In the Month of Darkness.
In the month of darkness, seasons destroyed, a ritual killing bound his spirit to the void. High strained of color, the beggar no more, to become what the believers waited for.
These suspicions came to materialize when I got to read The Veiled Terror, the third Dishonored book set 1 year after Billy Lurk ended The Outsider. In order for us to understand what's going on, we have to refresh our memory on the two realms present in Dishonored. One is the known world as seen on the map, and the other is the void where the outsider used to roam. There are actually several more places presented in the lore, but for simplicity's sake we'll just focus on these two. You see, ever since the outsider disappeared, the void started to drift away from the land of the living, and is the root cause of the problems that's plaguing people across the Isles. In Chapter 2 of the book, we find Billy walking the streets of Draper's Ward in Dunwall, as she reminisces her time in Serkonos a few weeks after the ending of the third game. In one paragraph it says, "Nearly everybody in the city of Serkonos was dreaming, their nightmares becoming night terrors, the visions so real, so awful, that they sent people running out from their homes and into the streets. She found dazed residents of the city wandering around in the dark, meeting fellow dreamers, exchanging bewildered conversations, some even breaking down in each other's arms. From them she learned that Karnaca was not the only city affected by the terrors of the night. It was, at least according to rumors if not official reports, happening all over the empire, from Tivia to Morley, from Bristol to Serkonos. The world had changed, and Billy knew it was, if not her fault exactly, then a very real consequence of her actions." In my opinion, this is proof that the void is connected to every living person in their world, and the outsider was an anchor to its stability. With everyone across the Isles having terrible nightmares, it was only a matter of time before people became desperate to find relief. In the same chapter, Billy recalls what she saw during her journey. It says, a small proportion of the population had started to modify their own bodies, desperate to find a way to stop the dreams. In her travels over the last year, she had seen men with the shattered fragments of bone charms pierced through their skin like fishhooks, seen women with weird tattoos covering their faces, their protective properties, a fiction created by the backstreet artists who offered to ink their unwitting client's skin for a healthy weight of coin, would protect them from their night terrors. Among the more aristocratic classes, there had been a fashion for embedding gemstones in the skin, the shiny cut facets of emerald and ruby arranged in geometric patterns over the cheeks, arms, and hands. If there's one thing we learned from normal people messing around with bone charms and magic in general, it's that nothing ever good comes out of it. This is compounded by the disasters that surrounded the Abbey of the Everyman and the Sisters of the Oracular Order. The way the book describes the events were a mixture of rumors mixed in with facts verified by Lurk herself. Here's what we know so far. 1. The High Overseer and the High Oracle are never seen in public again after the fall of the Outsider. 2. The Overseer started acting crazy, which prompted Empress Emily to send a battalion of soldiers from Whitecliff to Dunwall's Abbey and disband them. Those who fought back were killed or imprisoned, and the rest were let go to wander the streets. The Sisters of the Oracular Order were also to be disbanded, but for some unknown reason, the soldiers sent to deal with them went on a hunting spree and burned the sisters on stakes. What happened behind these events were never addressed in the book, unfortunately, but we can see where this is going. With people messing around with magic and no one to prevent that from happening, it's going to be really bad. And on top of all of these problems is that void rifts started to appear across the Isles. It's not really clear as to what kind of danger it poses on the world, but Billy was certain of it. And it doesn't help that the rifts are growing by the day, and people are not worried about it, because the natural philosophers of the Academy itself dismissed it as a natural phenomena. Unbelievable. All of these problems, by the way, are left unresolved in the book, so it's quite interesting to see how Arkane would pick it up into the next game. I'm not sure if this is what the outsider was referring to during this cutscene, but this piece of dialogue certainly matches what was going on.
The world was wounded around you, and you carry the scars. You will never be the same. I wonder if you'll like them.
Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.